About 10 minutes west of Katy, Texas, there is a little known community called Jordan Ranch out here in Fulshear, and I think that you are going to love this location. It's a master plan community that has a lot of amenities and a lot of things going for it, but I think that you are going to really love it, especially if you're looking out west in that Katy part of the world. But just like any place, there's pros and cons, and so I wanted to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about moving to and buying a home in Jordan Ranch. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Aaron, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the greater city of Houston and the surrounding suburbs. So if you need to know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, hit me up morning, noon, or night. I am your guy. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment section down below and let me know where you're watching this video from. Call, text, email, whatever way you got to get in touch with me. I would love to be that resource for you. But without further ado, let's hop right back into the video. And like I've said before on this channel, there are pros and cons to whenever it comes to buying a home in any one of these planned communities. But I think like many of our communities out here in the greater Houston metro, the pros far outweigh the cons. And the number one pro in this community of Jordan Ranch out here in Fulshear is that you have outstanding builders out here. You have your Westons, you have your Chesmars, you have your Perry homes, you have one of my favorites, the Highland homes. You have David Weekley, J. Patrick homes that gives you that more custom home builder feel and vibe here in the Houston metro. And so you're gonna have size lots that are from like 40 foot all the way up to like 65 or 80 foot out here, or 65 or 70 feet out here. And so you're gonna have a wide variety of home that you can basically build to meet your price point and your need. And based on that, because you have so many variety of builders out here, all the way from your Chesmar all the way up to like your Highland and your J. Patrick, you're gonna have a wide variety of home that starts anywhere from that like high threes all the way up to like 700,000-800,000, depending on how big or how crazy you want to go. But the number one pro for sure is that you have outstanding builders that give you more entry level all the way up to a custom experience out here in Jordan Ranch. So the second pro to living in Jordan Ranch is that you're going to have great amenities. You're going to have some of the standard stuff that many of these communities out here in the greater Houston suburb have, but there's a couple things that you'll have that many of them do not. And so you're going to have your splash pads, your playgrounds, your pools. You're going to have your lakes and walking trails and all the standard stuff. One of the more unique things that you have here is that you have a community garden that you can go and get fresh produce from on site in the community garden that is sourced by the residents that live here. And so you know that it's super fresh. You know that it's not coming from somewhere sketchy because it is grown in your community. And so I think that's a super cool amenity that not many communities have out here in the greater Houston metro. And so when it comes to amenities, you're going to be pretty hard pressed to find one out in this region that is going to top this and just smash it. There are definitely some great communities out here, but Jordan Ranch is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to amenities in the community. So number two pro are the outstanding amenities in your community. The third pro for Jordan Ranches is proximity and location to I-10. And so because you are as north as you are, you're one of the ones that have almost direct access off of I-10, where some of the other communities, you have to go a little bit further down Texas Heritage to get to them, or you have to do the tollway to basically ride and pay to get to your communities out here in the Fulshear area. But because you are kind of where you are and you're so far north, you are very close to I-10. And so if you need to get in and out of the Fulshear area, go through Katy, get to the downtown area, you have a more straight shot than maybe most of the other communities out here. And so I would definitely say that the location of Jordan Ranch, where it currently stands, is one of the better locations in the Fulshear market right now. And so location is definitely the number three pro for Jordan Ranch. The fourth pro to living in Jordan Ranch is that you are in fact in a planned community. And so one of the perks of living in a planned community in the greater Houston metro is that you have all of these things that are just kind of thought for you and integrated to serve and make sure that you have the best time possible. And so in a planned community, you're going to have schools that are associated with you. You're going to have your own infrastructure for commercial, your restaurants, your coffee shops, your bistros, all the things that are important to you to make sure that you don't need to really ever leave this place comes with being in a planned community. And Jordan Ranch is an outstanding one. It's one of the one of the Johnson developments. And so you know that it's going to be well thought out, just like all of their other communities throughout the greater Houston metro. They've done outstanding jobs in all those locations, and they're not going to do any different here. And so as you're coming down Texas Heritage, you see all of the commercial stuff that's already popped up. They've already got some little eateries. They've already got some little coffee shops. They already have things that are here, and it's still coming as you come down Texas Heritage. So I definitely think that being part of a planned community where you're not going to have to think about the important things like putting your kids in private schools or where to go get something to eat or where to go get groceries or any of those things, all of that stuff is going to come to this specific community to serve you. So pro number 4 for being in Jordan Ranch is that you are going to be in a master plan community, and you can take off some of the heavy lifting and heavy thinking about stuff that you're going to want to have to do for entertainment or for just supporting you and your family. So being in a master plan community is definitely pro number 4. And the 5th pro and reason why you want to live in a place like Jordan Ranch is because you're going to be tied, like many of our master plan communities out in this part of the world, you're going to be tied to a great school system. Jordan Ranch is specifically tied to Lamar Consolidated ISD, and being, if you've ever looked that up on niche.com or Great Schools, you know that the schools that are tied to that community or to that school district rather are highly rated. And so education is not going to be one of those things that you have to worry about ever when you are moving to Jordan Ranch, because you are tied to one of the best school systems that the greater Houston metro has to offer. And so pro number 5 is probably one of the reasons why I get hit up the most from all these people from other states that are looking to make a better life or find a better life for them and their family and their kiddos that are about to be in school or are already just started school. If you want to be out here in the Jordan Ranch community, you can rest assured that your kiddos are going to have a great education because they are tied to Lamar Consolidated ISD. So pro number 5 for sure is definitely that you're tied to an outstanding school system here in Jordan Ranch. And so it can't always be perfect. Just like all master plan communities out in the greater Houston metro, it's not all perfect. It's not all gumdrops and rainbows and unicorns, right? There's going to be some cons associated with buying and building in any of these communities, and Jordan Ranch is no different. And so the number 1 con on the list right here for me personally is that you are very far from Houston from a distance standpoint. And if I-10 is going to be your main mode of transportation or traffic into and out of Fulshear and into and out of Houston, then you are going to be in traffic a very long time. I used to live in the energy corridor, which is 15 or 20 miles inside of this, and it would take me an hour to an hour and a half to get in and out of the city during peak rush hour traffic. And so if you have a lifestyle that is going to bring you inside of the city and is going to have you in like the medical center or any of those places that are kind of more centrally located, then this location is probably not going to be ideal for you, because you would either be passing up and using 15 to 20 minutes to get to another toll road to get into the city, or you're going to be at the mercy of whatever I-10 is doing that day. And more times than not, there's always traffic on I-10. So number 1 con for me is if you have a lifestyle that is anywhere remotely central or kind of closer to the city, that this is going to be a rough location from a commute standpoint. Even though it is gorgeous, even though it is very close to I-10, the miles in and out just to get inside of the center of the city of Houston, this will not be a great location for you if your lifestyle is in the city. And so the second con that I have, and this isn't really a knock for everybody, you know, depending on how much money you got, depending on how much money you make, this may not be a big deal, but compared to some of the other communities that are not very far from here, Jordan Ranch isn't the least expensive. It's not quite as crazy as Cross Creek Ranch in my experience, but it can get up there and it can get pricey. Like I said before, the entry level for new construction out here is like right at $390, give or take almost $400,000, and it goes all the way up to around $8. And Cross Creek is a little bit more expensive. I see that base is like $415, $420 as of the recording of this video, but Cross Creek West is a little less expensive. There are also some Toll Brother communities that aren't a master plan community, so and there's going to be some discounts and some things associated with that. But as far as comparable kind of size and build communities out here, Jordan Ranch is probably one of the more expensive out in the greater Fulshear area. So again, may not be a con for you. You may be rolling in the dough and you may just love the community and don't care what it costs. But one of the comments and one of the feedbacks that I get for people that have me out here in the country looking out in Fulshear is that this is one of the more expensive, even though they really love it, it's one of the more expensive communities in the greater Fulshear area. So con number 2 is the price barrier and kind of the comparison to what you have out here as options when it comes to Jordan Ranch and other community pricing. And the third con to Jordan Ranch, and this is not too dissimilar from pretty much all master plan communities in the greater Houston metro, and that is that you have a pretty high tax rate. Now, one thing that I can say is compared to many of the communities in Katy, so like your Cane Islands or your Sunterras, or if you get up there to the Cypress area, and we're talking Marvita, Bridgeland, Town Lake, your taxes are much lower here than they are in any of those other locations that I just named. So it is a little bit of a benefit if you're looking out west and you're looking out in this Katy kind of Cypressy sort of area to give Jordan Ranch and Fulshear a shot, because this community specifically has a tax range of anywhere from like 3.01 all the way up to about 3.3 is the highest that I've seen when I've been looking for clients. And so it is a con though, because for many people that means that you're gonna have $1,000 a month tax bill just to live out here with an entry barrier of about 400,000. So tax rate above 3, houses starting around 4. Before exemptions, you're gonna have about $1,000 a month, and you have to weigh whether or not the amenities, whether the gardens, whether the schools and all those other things that are here are worth it to you, because the higher you get, the higher that tax bill is gonna get, and not everybody wants to pay $1,000 a month to taxes. Now, Texas is unique in that we don't have the state income tax, so for my people that are coming from other places, when you do the apples to apples analysis compared to what you would pay in property taxes here versus what you would save potentially on income tax, the numbers always work out to be here in Texas. But if you are in Texas and you know kind of that whole spiel about how taxes go, this is going to be one of the more expensive places when it comes to taxes here. So definitely con number 3 is that you're going to have a pretty hefty tax bill pretty much every year, and as values go up, you're going to continue to have a pretty high tax bill until some of those bonds come down, until some of those other tax line items kind of get less expensive over time. For the time being, for next foreseeable couple years, while they're still building and it's still growing out here, you're going to have a pretty high tax bill. So that would definitely be con number 3 for living in Jordan Ranch. So how did I do? Hopefully I didn't scare you away from wanting to move to Fulshear and in the Jordan Ranch community. If I did, that was not my intention. I just want to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know so you can make the best decision for you and your family on whether or not Jordan Ranch and this beautiful community that we toured today is a good fit for you. If I didn't scare you away and you want some more information or you want to get in touch with me, call, text, email, hit the comment section down below and let me know if you have any questions about any of these builders, or if you have any questions about the community or any of its incentives. I have built some great relationships with a lot of the builders out here. I currently have some clients under contract with multiple of these builders out here in the greater Houston metro, so I know I can do a great job helping you. But the only way that I can do that is if you reach out. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.